Do you see the look on her face? It's the, man, how many times do I have to go through this? If I had a nickel for every single time. Or what I'd really like to say is, but I can't, because I don't want to lose my job, and we're about to go live.
Pascal.
I thought this was very interesting, and I felt like we should check this out for ourselves. Because, you know, honestly, it's one thing to hear a story. You hear it all the time from people. You know, you got girls that will tell their story all the time. They'll talk about those times that they've been harassed or annoyed or you know, etc. But it's another thing when you get it caught on film, okay? And we definitely have got to go into this particular story here because I feel like this is kind of the plight of every woman. Like I said, this just happens to be something that was caught on camera, all right? In 4K, caught in 4K, as the young kids would say. All right, so Rochester Reporter blasts disgusting comments from two men while on camera. Now, this, like I said, we're gonna look at the footage. But we gotta read this article really quick, okay? So, Brianna Hamblin, a reporter for Spectrum News 1 in Rochester, New York, went viral on social media Friday after she shared footage of being harassed by two men while preparing for a segment. She warned of crude language in the caption of the clip that showed men commenting on her appearance. She says, being hit on and harassed as a woman, especially as a woman reporter out in the field, happens so often you learn how to roll with it or ignore it. This time, it happened to be recorded only seconds before my hit. So she was about to go live and talk about, you know, something that was going on in that neighborhood, I'm sure. She says, there are a lot of things wrong with this, she explains in a tweet. In the video, Hamlin is told, "You look nice, by the way," as she stands before the camera, to which she replies, "Thank you." Hamlin's attention turns towards her cell phone when she is approached by a white man who immediately begins to make suggestive comments. So I just want to make it abundantly clear. There was a black man that walked by first. He says, "You look nice, by the way." Then there was a white guy that walked by. I guess they were both together. And he just starts saying all kinds of crazy stuff, this white guy, okay? Now, they go off camera, and to me, it sounds like it's the white guy saying this stuff. And like I said, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but from what it sounds like the white guy continues to talk while the black guy that he's with, I'm assuming that they're friends, continues to kind of like agree with him in the conversation, in the remarks that he's saying, okay? So, back to the article really quick. The white guy says, "You're beautiful as hell." God! That's what the unidentified white man says. Then, Hamblin once again politely accepts his comments, but he persisted. He demanded to know why she was in front of the cameras. She goes, "Go and watch the TV. Go find a TV and watch Spectrum News." Okay? She replied with a forced smile. So, I'm not going to continue anymore with this article because they're just basically showing you the bullet points, the dialogue that happens. We are actually going to look at this footage ourselves and come up with our own conclusion. Okay, here it is, y'all. This is insane.
Fuck your line off.
I'm not on yet.
Okay, thank you. We don't want to
Yeah, we're not on.
You look nice.
20 seconds.
Thank you.
You beautiful as hell.
Thank you.
God damn. I better not be on motherfucking camera. But why you over here on camera though?
Watch Spectrum News. You can find out. Go find a TV and watch Spectrum News. You can find out.
For what reason?
Watch the news and you can find out.
We're gonna watch. Just channel 8.
This is channel 9 and 1 usually, 1 and 9.
See, that's why I can't be left alone with a black woman. Or a mulatto chick. Because I can't
All right.
stand these fucking white
We are
girls.
done here.
And please forgive us.
Have a great rest of your day.
You are sexy as fuck. I don't know how you can say that. Sexy.
I'm going to stop it right there. Do you see the look on her face? It's the, man, how many times do I have to go through this? If I had a nickel for every single time. Or what I'd really like to say is, but I can't because I don't want to lose my job and we're about to go live. The other thing I want to point out, though, too, on this situation is where the cameraman at? Why is the cameraman not saying anything? Why hasn't he said, calm down, chill, man? You know what I mean? We're about to go live. Shut the hell up. Why didn't he have her back? Why didn't he have this woman's back? But look at the look on her face. It's worth 1,000. Oh, man, it's 1,000 thoughts are going through her head right now. Unbelievable. And this man these guys are sitting there just, and I'm thinking that they're probably drunk or high, or maybe both. But the fact that these guys feel like they can go up to any woman, doesn't matter if there was a camera on or not, and say those things, it's ridiculous. And of course, it's the white guy's like, oh, see, this is why, I don't mess with these white girls. This is why I mess with these black women and he says mulatto. Literally, he says mulatto. What? And of course, this woman is sitting here going, this reporter is sitting here going, why am I being disrespected? Well, like right before I'm about to go live and report the news, do my job, but be a professional. And I have to fend for my own dignity right now in front of my cameraman, where the cameraman could have clearly said something too. The cameraman should have had her back. Real talk, I'm just saying that out loud. I'm going to throw it around to the guys, see what their thoughts are on this situation. I think I say this word a lot. I feel like it should be a drinking game every single time I say the word trash. But at the same time, this situation is absolute garbage, okay? That cameraman didn't even sit there. Here's the other thing. Just really quick before I throw it to the guys. This is a woman who is who's in uncharted territory, I'm sure. She's just been assigned to go out there on assignment to this particular location. Why wouldn't, of course, you're going to bring a cameraman or whatever and be brought in like to be there. And I'm not sitting here saying that she can't fend for herself, that she can't throw a good right hook, that she doesn't know how to protect herself. But at the same time, that cameraman that's there is also there for protection as well, just in case ish hits the fan. But this cameraman doesn't do anything. She just has to sit there and take the sexual harassment and sprinkle it with a light dusting of racism. I'm going to throw it over to the guys. David, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, this is a weird one, but it's unfortunate. It seems like it does happen a lot. I mean, what we're seeing is, if you read her own comments, it sounds like this is something that happens somewhat frequently to her. I'm sure the exact words aren't the same thing or whatever, but this does sound like, according to her, that this is a problem she's had frequently. So, yeah, I mean, I think she did the best she could. She was staying composed the whole time, and she was being mindful that she's working and trying to avoid getting pulled into that. I mean, that might have been what the cameraman was doing too, trying to do the exact same thing as her, kind of. I don't really know, but
keeping it classy, keeping it professional. But
yeah.
but here's the thing. Do you mind if I rebuttal real quick? Why didn't he just say you could still keep it classy and keep it professional, and also tell somebody to get the F out, to walk away? You could clearly go, he could have gone, that cameraman could have easily said, hey, We're about to go live, guys. I'm sorry, we're about to go live. If you don't mind walking down, leave her alone. She's about to, she's talking to the people. You see what I'm saying? He could have played full court press on this situation. He could have walked in and just said, ooh, look, smile at the bird. You see what I'm saying? He could have just distracted them from her and basically saying, oh, okay, if you're interested in knowing about this, hey, well, she's about to go live, guys. She's about to go live. And he could have still kept it professional and also found a way to get those guys the F away. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's got to be a way, right? Sorry, David, continue.
So, that's basically everything, I guess. I was just thinking it's quite possible he was doing pretty much what she's doing. Someone did ask, how do we know he's a cameraman? It's just because that's what the news article said, I guess. Mm-hmm. But, we do. It was reported that he's a guy, so it's most likely true, even though we didn't see him.
We heard him,
but
we heard him. And you never know. It could be. Let's be real. It could be a female with a low voice, but let's be real. That was a male voice, from what I heard. From what if we're just listening to the vocals, sounded like a man. And then, of course, you clearly know that there's somebody on using the camera or working the camera because of how the camera whip pans to the right and then goes back and then zooms right into her face and then focuses again and then zooms back out. So, I mean, there's clearly a second person there talking to the guys too at first, and then he stays silent. He just falls silent. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. T, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Well, I'm just thinking about the change in society of the way men speak to females or women on the streets. Mm-hmm. And I believe it was sometime this year or maybe last year where there was a young woman in a corner store, and she brushed off the guy's comments and tried to leave the store, and ended up biting her in the face and attacking her. And there's another situation where another guy, he literally stomped her windshield in her car for her saying, "I'm not interested at all." So I think this woman here did a really good job of defending herself, where she did not, make the guys agitated or violent towards her. Because a lot of these weak guys out here are attacking women after they get shut down. And I think that she's smart enough to know that she has to survive this situation and just acknowledge them. But at the same time, she said, if you want to see more of me, pretty much, just watch me on the news. So I think she did a really good job of, being clever about it and not allowing herself to be a victim if these guys became more aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, obviously she was very crafty with just rolling with the punches, because obviously it could have gone south really bad. And of course, we don't know the environment that she was in. We don't know the block that she was on, etc. We don't know that either. And also, of course, the Pioneer also said something too that I wanted to jump off of as well. He goes, Pascal, you're a buff man with a lot of confidence. Not every man is built like that. We can call him the cameraman he's referring to. We can call the cameraman a punk all day, but he went home that night. Now, here's the thing. Clearly, good point, Pioneer and T. Both of you guys have very good points. Also, let me just say this, because Kiki of 5 said this earlier too. Whether it was a man or a woman, that person that was behind that camera should have said something or should have stepped up. I agree. And like I said before, you can still be. You don't have to be a big, strong dude or a very what's the word? A very what's the word? Powerful
macho?
Woman, I guess. No, not macho, because I don't want to get it twisted. But I mean, just a woman who stands their ground. You know what I mean? A resilient, strong woman. Okay? You don't have to be those types to step up without getting your face bashed in. Like I said, there are many ways you can get around a conversation, intimidating. Exactly, Roberta, on Facebook. Thank you so much for the comment and finding that word for me. Like, you don't have to be intimidating or walk around like you're physically threatening just to get somebody to leave, to get somebody to walk away. Now, what these guys were saying were absolutely atrocious, terrible words, absolutely terrible words. But at the same time, they weren't being aggressive. They weren't saying anything. They weren't stepping into the shot. They weren't doing anything crazy. So there's a way that you could have, that camera person could have stepped up without being overly aggressive, without being intimidating, without being super macho or anything. This isn't a pissing contest. It's about being able to get home safe and in one piece. So there's ways to get around that, I think, and also get your point across. You could still professionally tell somebody to F off. Professionally. It's just wrapped up in a with a bow of niceties. You see what I'm saying? But who was about to say something?
Yeah,
David.
I was just going to say that I kind of agree with Mark and all of them. It's very likely if he did stand up, especially since they're drunk or high and there's two of them, they would have probably just, once he got involved in an altercation, I imagine they would have just beat the crap out of him and then probably ran off with the woman. Because it was kind of clear that that's what that guy wanted. And as long as if the cameraman stood up, I don't think it would have ended well for him. He would have probably been put out, and they would have just, at that point, there would be nobody there to witness or stop them, and they would probably just do whatever they want with the newscaster as well, because it's obvious they don't really care what they're doing there.
Yeah, it's okay. Fair enough. I think that there's so many different ways, right, that you can, like I said, step up, say what you need to say, and those guys would go away in time, right? You could still, like I said, you don't have to be aggressive. You just going up to them going, hey, guys, I'm sorry, but we're about to go live. Do you guys mind? That's not, and I understand people go crazy. That Mark Jones just said it, which I agree. People are getting killed over the smallest things nowadays. There are reports and stories that go around like crazy, like two guys shoot up a McDonald's just because there weren't salt on their fries. Real talk. So I understand that there's craziness out here. But also just letting your partner, your coworker, your colleague go through that and not step up a little bit just to say, hey, I got you. I don't know. To me, it just, like I said, there's so many different ways around this, but I guess myself, and if I wasn't the height or size that I am, I still would have stepped up and done it in a very stealthy way. You see what I'm saying? It's all about stealth. It's all about them not knowing that they're doing what you want them to do, but they're doing it themselves. You see what I'm saying? It's all about stealth, right? And I feel like, well, maybe myself, I'm just used to this kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Where people are just, they think one way, and I try to come at them in a diplomatic and professional way as much as I can, right? Next thing you know, their minds have changed, or they realize, okay, that was wrong. Or in this particular situation, it's like, oh, they're going live. Oh, you're going live? Okay, my bad. 9 times out of 10, those people will walk away. Unless they're really that cracked out or drunk. That's when you get those crazy videos online of reporters trying to do their reports and some drunk idiot jumps into the shot and starts saying crazy stuff. You know what I mean? So I just think that this is a situation where I'm not blaming it all on the cameraman. Okay? But I do feel like the cameraman could have stepped up so that she didn't have to sit here and deal with this for that long. Because I can only imagine how alone she felt in that situation. How ostracized she felt just because of her looks. Just because she happens to have light skin. Being a black woman in the middle of the street looking professional with lights and cameras in her face. And these guys are sitting there just looking at her like she's straight up a piece of meat. That's just disgusting. And I wouldn't stand for it. If I were that cameraman, I would not stand for that at all. And if that means I get a punch in the face, then that's all right. You know what I mean? Then that's it.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.